So, it is December 30th, 2024. If I put this on YouTube, it'll be December 31st, but barely within 2024. This year has been a lot, to put it politely. A year of ups and downs is how I think of it. A lot of good things have happened this year for me, and a lot of not good things have happened for me this year. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Overall, I don't know if I view this year more positive or more negative, just because it is so mixed. But I definitely feel like I have made some important steps in many ways. So, for example, that I'm streaming and doing videos is a very nice feeling. A long time ago, a whole gender ago, I did try to do videos and streams, with not the best results for the longest time. I eventually found my footing, but it definitely took a long time. So it genuinely took me off guard with both my Twitch and YouTube right now for my VTuber. How fast everything's going. Like, I'm obviously still a very small streamer, but I definitely feel like things moved very quickly in ways that I'm very grateful for. Also, in 2024, I started HRT in June, so that was definitely another positive, huge step in this year. So I'm very proud of finally taking that leap, because it was one that I put off for a really long time, because I kept assuming the worst for the longest time. I kept thinking, if I started HRT, what if I don't like it? What if I'm just wasting time and money on it? So finally having taken that leap, I am genuinely happy with myself. Obviously, I still have a long way to go, but for now, I definitely feel relatively content in a way that even on the bad days, they don't feel the same way as the bad days used to. So that was another very huge step for me personally. I also started to be a lot more social this year. Obviously, I still have room to improve with a lot of the things I'm mentioning today, but I definitely took huge steps to try to break out of my shell a little bit. Definitely not a consistent or smooth process throughout the year. Definitely had a lot of relapses into bad mental states and patterns that I do regret deeply, to be honest. But in general, I do feel like I did take a lot of important steps this year, socially and just for myself. So that is a generally good feeling. But I'm hoping, now that I've kind of used 2024 as my year for establishing a footing in a lot of ways, I'm hoping I will be able to take bigger steps in 2025. In terms of streaming, I definitely want to get back onto a more consistent schedule. I definitely missed a lot of days, and even when I do actually stream, I stream later than I mean to. So, for example, I was supposed to start like half an hour before I actually did. So I need to work on some things, need to like fix my sleep schedule. Need to figure out an actual streaming schedule. I'm kind of leaning Mondays and Thursdays for reasons, because a lot of times friends like to hang out on Wednesdays, so it just kind of makes more sense to stream Thursday, just for the sake of getting to hang out with people. But again, I would like to do more days in general, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at some point, but that is something that I feel like I need to work up to for building up stamina, not only for streaming, but also for my voice and my ability to perform as a streamer without burning out, which definitely can happen quite a bit. I have a lot of games planned already. I have two main focuses for 2025 planned. First of all, I want to go through a lot of childhood games, actually. Just to kind of show people what I grew up with and kind of what shaped my interests in terms of games, and also a lot of other avenues as well. There's quite a few examples of games having a profound effect on me. But truth be told, I've thought about trying to frame it a specific way, but I realize it will take more than just 2025, because I grew up with a lot of RPGs, and a lot of the games that have kind of shaped me, not only as a gamer, but as a person, are long RPGs. So, you know, if I want to play like all the Xenoblades, that'll take a bit. If I want to play a bunch of Final Fantasy, that's going to take a long time. So this is going to be a multi-year project. The other focus I want is game clearing of sorts. I want to basically use streams as an opportunity and a way to get back into actually playing games, because over the past few years, I've definitely fallen behind on my backlog quite a bit, because I kind of got burnt out on games a bit, and I think actually streaming will be a good way to incentivize playing games, like, for myself in a way. That's kind of the crux of the issue, is I kind of stopped playing games for myself. I started playing games a lot out of FOMO, like gacha games and Fortnite and stuff like that. Like right now I've been playing a lot of Rivals, and I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. And then like Zenless and Honkai Star Rail for gacha games, because FOMO. And that's basically what gets me to play games, because my actual personal investment in trying to play games for myself is pretty low, so FOMO gives me sort of a catalyst to actually play games. So by applying streaming to this, I'm hoping that this will help me to get through a bit of my gaming backlog. I don't know entirely what the schedule is going to look like. I think it'll depend on the day and the game. So I'd like to do 2 to 3 hour streams, ideally longer, but that would also necessitate me getting up earlier as well, which is, again, going back to needing to fix my sleep schedule. But like multiple days a week, and then being able to like either double up if necessary for like a long RPG, or basically alternating, like on Monday we'll play this game, and then on the other day of the week, or like Tuesday or Thursday, we'll play like something else, or maybe even Wednesday, who knows. But again, the schedule is very fluid for now. Monday is the day I would like to have as my consistent day. Everything else is kind of subject to change, unfortunately. The other thing I want to do in 2025 is an actual like VTuber debut of sorts. I have a PowerPoint all planned out. I've just been trying to figure out the best timing to do a debut of sorts. The biggest hurdle for me right now is I almost feel like debuts work better on weekends, and weekends aren't the best time for me to stream for a couple of reasons. So I'm trying to work out the logistics of it. I've also thought about trying to incentivize things more. So for example, maybe save a debut until a point where I actually do have like sub emotes or other like incentives to actually support my streams more than just viewership. Which is another thing I'm struggling to work on, is like incentivizing things. Not to say that I am streaming entirely for profit, to clarify, but just kind of like to basically better, incentivize like subscribing, because right now there's not really like a point, because I don't even like run ads most of the time. So I definitely need to get better at that. I need to get better at like promoting myself in general. In general, I feel like I've been very much slacking on like self-promotion, like don't usually bring up the YouTube channel very much, or like my Blue Sky or anything of that nature. So I need to get better at like a consistent outro that like lets people know what the schedule is, where you can find updates and where you can find things like VODs and highlights in the future. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I need to work on in terms of like comfortability as a streamer, and just stuff of that nature. So yeah, I need to definitely improve in a lot of ways personally and in terms of like working on streams and stuff. But I'm hoping 2025 will be a year of the foundation is in place, so now I can start building a bit more, hopefully. 2025 in a lot of ways feels like a very scary year, but I am kind of determined to just do my best and do what I can personally to make the most of it. Because a lot of things that I am not excited about in 2025 are things that are not in my control anyway. So again, all I can really do is make the best of it. So here's hoping to a decent year. To the people who have found my streams and like YouTube and everything, Blue Sky and so on. To the people who I've been supporting my streaming endeavors for a bit now, since like September, and just supporting me as a person for about a year now. I really appreciate everyone. It's like very emotional actually, trying to like put this into words, but just kind of like, it's a nice feeling. I wish I could do more to like give back, I guess. In a lot of ways, both as a person and as a content creator, if that makes sense. So I'd also like to find ways to do that as well. Again, I don't know if I'll really have the sway to do anything too substantial, but I would even like want to do charity stuff at some point. I would like to do stuff like that eventually, but again, I don't think I quite have the reach to really make something like that a particular success at the moment. But that's something for like future me to figure out. At this point, I'm just kind of rambling, I feel. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate my friends, my family, everyone who's like supported my my attempts at streaming, and also just like, you know, transitioning and everything. It's been a very bumpy road, to be honest, and I'm hoping that things will be looking up for the future, at least personally, again, even if things in other areas are still looking a little bit uncertain. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough about this, so yeah, thank you for listening to my somewhat serious talk on the future, and looking back at this very tumultuous year. But yeah, here's to a relatively okay 2025.